quest to succeed. Chapter 4. When Jay was in the second year of his city life and secondary education, he came to the village and stayed for the whole winter break. He used to sleep at his grandfather's shop rather than at the house. One night, when he, his grandfather and Gautam were sleeping, they heard a loud noise that something fell or was thrown into the well, which was only a few yards away from the shop. Jay's grandfather opened the door. They all looked around. There was no one. They went back to sleep. In the morning, they discovered that a woman had thrown a young baby into the well that night. The baby's body was pulled out of the well. Many villagers gathered there. The village panchayat head, village pradhan, decided to call the police because there has been a murder. The woman, who used to supply water from the well to people's home, accepted that it was she who threw the baby into the well. She revealed to the police that a black magic priest, a cult with superstitious beliefs, told her that if she threw a young baby into the well, she would have a boy, because she already had 2 daughters. She was illiterate and unintelligent. She could not comprehend how by killing a baby she could give birth to a boy. She did not tell her husband about this plan. Her husband was a farmer and had a small holding of 12 acres of agricultural land. The woman first kidnapped her sister-in-law's baby son, who lived in the same house, suffocated him, and threw him into the well. Her husband regretted very much that his younger brother and his wife had lost their son because of his wife's ignorance and by following a superstition. When the police arrived, they arrested her and took her to the police station. She was presented before the magistrate and remanded in custody. A case was filed against her. She was taken to the district court. The judge sentenced her to life imprisonment. Her husband sold his agricultural land and hired lawyers who did their best to help her, but all the evidence was against her. She had also accepted the vicious crime. She never returned to the village. The only result was that it made her husband poor. Her daughters lived mostly on their own, without a mother and father who was busy because of the court case. Their mother was in prison. Their father was mostly out making efforts to get her released, which did not happen. The family lost a baby boy. This farmer used to talk to Jay whenever he was in the village and asked him to write some short notes on a brown piece of paper, which was taken from his grandfather's shop. The poor farmer did not bring any paper himself. His grandfather did not care about the brown paper and allowed Jay to help the farmer. When Jay was about 12 years old and was studying in the city, he was homesick and wanted to see his parents in the village. His brother Nakul decided not to go to the village over that weekend. It was quite late in the evening. Jay started his own journey to the village. He ran 8 miles to reach home before sunset. He had to run through farmland and barren areas. He reached home before nightfall, but he got tired and became ill. He was sick for quite a few days. A doctor came to see him in the village. He had to stay in the village for 2 months. He could not take his 8th class annual examination. He had, however, achieved exceedingly high marks in his half-yearly examination. He was therefore promoted to the 9th standard. He, however, missed a great deal of learning, especially in mathematics and science. For the high school examination, he decided to study languages and social sciences. He offered Hindi literature, English literature, general English, mathematics, civics, Indian constitution, economics, and economic geography. He gave up the study of sciences. His friend Radhe was surprised that Jay was not studying sciences. He thought that as a clever student, he wanted to become a doctor or an engineer, but he had lost interest and a great amount of learning in sciences. Moreover, his school did not have good science teachers. He was therefore happy with the subjects he had decided to study. He concentrated on his studies. At high school, Jay had a few friends, but he did not visit their houses. If he needed any notes or books of them, he would wait outside their homes and return to his room with books or notes. He would do the same to return his friends' books and notes. Their friendship was confined to school premises. Jay was in the company of his elder brother rather than with the boys of his own age group. His brother and his friends used to go for an evening walk along a canal which was not too far from their room. They were all grown up and at least 8 to 10 years older to him, like his brother. They used to talk in English. Jay also had conversation with them in English language. During their walk, a passerby commented that Jay was a village boy, yet he talks in English language with his seniors. Jay had a good grasp over the foreign language, and his accent was fine. It did not sound like a Hindi-speaking young man who was talking in a different language. He used to talk in the natural way. After many years, one of his older friends remarked that, "You speak fluent English, despite the fact that you are a villager. Most villagers speak in their local dialect and not even in pure Hindi. What to say in a foreign language?" A mature student commented once, "How did the English people leave you here in India when they left the country in 1947 after granting her independence?" Jay smiled at the man and said that he started to learn English language at an early age in 1948. He was still in his village when the British left the country a year earlier. At that time he was studying in the primary school through Hindi medium. When Jay and Nakul lived together, Nakul used to make chapatis and cooked vegetables or lentils as they thought proper. Jay used to go to buy fresh vegetables, clean the dishes and other utensils used for cooking. He also washed the floor and threw the dirt out. In the last year of Nakul's degree course, Jay took over more responsibilities and helped in making dough for chapatis. One of Nakul's friend's brothers-in-law used to come at about 9 a.m. when food was ready to be taken. Nakul used to offer him food before he and Jay could have their meal. Jay did not like it. He said to his brother that, "Our father works hard to earn money for the family. This man comes here to eat food every day. He has a job and could afford to purchase his own breakfast." But Nakul argued that if he was present at breakfast time, we could not ignore him. This practice continued for the whole academic year. The man ate free food and Nakul would not stop serving him, even though the man was not related in any way. He was not even his friend. He also dismissed the argument that the food was provided by their dad, who worked hard for the family. What amazed Jay most was that after many years, when Nakul had a job and his own family to be looked after, he was mostly unhappy to see his own brothers-in-law. He never offered them tea or water, what to say of food. At times he told them that he was busy. He could not see them and drove them away. Several types of demeanors with relatives and outsiders. After about 20 years, Jay met one of his high school colleagues in Delhi. This friend came from the same village as the freeloader. When Jay asked about him, his friend was unhappy to talk and told him that the man was in prison for some financial fraud. It indicated that Nakul was not a good judge of character, but Jay noticed something fishy about that man in the early years. Jay remembered a prediction by an astrologer about Nakul that he would get on well with outsiders but would not mix with the family members or relatives. It was proved right. Jay did not believe in these predictions, but he had to accept the reality. When he had a job and lived with Nakul, he himself faced such a truth because Nakul took all his earnings for food and lodging. Jay did not have any money left for his personal expenses and clothes or shoes.